she leans over and she looks and she goes, Claudia? And I'm like, yes, Amanda? She goes, that's beautiful. And I'm like, thank you so much, Miss Goldberg. It came from my heart.
Oh my God, she's so funny.
So much to me, thank you. I thought I had gotten away with murder, bitch.
I really like to watch some of my favorite female comedians, different specials, podcasts, just to get me inspired before my show.
No, thank you.
This girl, she's got something special, star quality.
I knew if I kept denying her request, she would have been on today.
5 minutes till showtime.
I'll do it.
I'll be ready in 4.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the greatest comedian who's ever walked the earth, me!
I forgot my microphone. Where the fuck is it? Help! I'll be right back. Thank you. Hello, New York! Live television, am I right? Welcome. Thank you all so much for being here. It's a big night. We're filming a special. Guys excited to be on TV? Get your hair done at Dry Bar? It's a big day. You guys are going to be on TV? You're not. I am. I know you didn't think I'd give up 1 minute of airtime for you. No. I'm so excited to be here. Seriously, thank you guys so much for coming. I love performing in New York. There's nothing like it, really. Nothing like good old New York depression, you know? Something I've been struggling with recently. Maybe anyone can relate to this sentiment. Maybe it's a post-COVID thing. Personally, I have no will to live. No joie de vivre. No zest for life, you know? I had so much fucking zest for life before the pandemic. Ugh. Mostly because I had lost 50 pounds. That's not why I did it. But it was nice, you know? Real nice. My doctor was no longer considering me morbidly obese. And that shit was fire. I fucking hate going to the doctor, by the way. It's such a scam, you know? I'm gonna pay this bitch money to tell me something I already know. Because at this point in my life, there's pretty much nothing I wouldn't put in my body. Except maybe a salad. So I don't know why I'm gonna go to the doctor and pay her to come in and, lick the clipboard. Read the chart. And she's like, Claudia, you're extremely unhealthy. Am I supposed to be shocked? I'm like... You're kidding. Then the pandemic came, found the 50 pounds I had lost, and it's been an uphill battle ever since. I mean, I had to gain the weight. It was a really, really hard time for me, the pandemic. I know it was hard for everyone, I'm not stupid. But really hard for me. Because I'm an influencer. Not a good time for us. Nobody felt bad for the influencers during the pandemic, you know? The general sentiment was we literally don't care if our local influencer lives or dies today. Everyone was just oh my God, the nurses. We have to help them. And it's but what about me? There were all these campaigns with morons on Facebook being let's buy the nurses lunch. And I'm sitting here yeah, I also eat lunch. All the time. I'm sure some of you guys got on your balconies every night. Ooh, yikes. Banging pots and pans together. The nurses don't have the privilege of working from home. They're literally inside. They can't fucking hear you. Go inside, Karen, okay? But that shit was tough for the influencers, you guys. It's like hard to even, talk about without getting emotional. Think about it. Let me paint a picture for you what it was like to be an influencer during the pandemic. Our brand deals, they were canceled. Our live events, shit like this, canceled. Did you leave your house without your mask? Canceled. Oh my God, the pandemic was cancel culture central. Lived for it. Finally, let it happen to someone else. Everyone knows me as the girl. I'm against cancel culture. People love my takes on it. And I don't want to disappoint, but my stance has changed. Because now I'm going to judge cancellations simply based on who it's happening to. Because it's always happening to me for asinine shit. Remember when I had dinner outside? People on the internet were so fucking dramatic. There's a murderer! Call the police! It's chill. Chill. So it's always happening to me, and, it does pain me to admit this, but I really am a nobody, I know, it's hard. I'm a nobody. I'm just an ordinary girl, I'm like Hannah Montana in a lot of ways. Sometimes I'm lazy, I get bored. I get scared, I feel ignored. I do. I feel happy, I get silly. I choke on my own words. No, I'm really shy. I do choke on my own words. And big dick. Chill. So I don't know, during the pandemic, I was kind of living for everything that was happening, Anyone remember? You never forget your first. The first person who was canceled during the pandemic. Does anyone remember? You could check. Yes, oh my God! Vanessa, don't forget the Ann Hudgens. And that was really interesting to watch. Because, Vanessa Ann, she has this fabulous life. And in order for her life to remain fabulous, all she had to do was shut the fuck up. And Girlie couldn't even do that, But no, what does she do? Start of the pandemic, she gets on Instagram Live, and she's totally drunk. Relatable. And she's like, yeah, people dying of COVID is terrible, ? But inevitable, ! I was like, girl, shut the fuck up. Gabriella would never. Shit is bad when, I can't even defend something you say, And I don't know, I just don't feel bad for her. She's got, a multi-million-dollar mansion in Hollywood Hills. So I was, one of those people on Twitter. I was like, do better, Vanessa. Educate yourself. You can't talk about cancel culture without talking about the reigning queen of it. Bitch! Not me, wench. I'm being attacked. No. I do come in close second. Let's be real. No, Chrissy Teigen, she is Did I lie? No, her shit was bad. If I feel bad for you, that shit's bad. And the thing with Chrissy Teigen was really interesting because I don't even remember what she got canceled for. I just remembered the backlash. What was her crime? She murdered a teenager or something, right? And you were just not gonna find me feeling bad for her. Her beach house, 65 million. Beach house! It's a second house! No, I was on Twitter. Oh my God, so disappointed. You'll never work in this town again. You know what the worst part of the pandemic was? Aside from, the millions of cases, collapse of the economy, everyone's grandparents just bouncing. Is that okay? Listen, like, my dad dropped dead when I was in the 8th grade. I can say whatever the fuck I want, bitch, okay? Oh, your 200-year-old grandma died? Oh, you know what that sounds like? A you problem. No, I'm kidding. Grief is real. Grief is real. It's not as real as my grief, but... For me, I found the most challenging part of the pandemic, the fact I'm a very social person, constantly being invited to like fabulous events, it's exhausting, clam bakes, trips to the Cape. Then they canceled all that shit and I had nowhere to go. And one of the things they canceled really hit home. I feel like nobody realizes it's extremely difficult for me to like come out here and put together an original, hilarious show full of information you guys don't already know about me. I literally do a podcast every day. Let's be real, every day. I'm actually not gonna be there tomorrow. But you guys know everything about me, I bet there's probably a person in this room who knows exactly how many pubes I have. Any guesses? 0! Oh my God, yes! Queen! 0. I'm not that flexible. It's probably like 1 all the way in the back I couldn't reach. Make a wish. But something you guys actually might not know about me is that right before the pandemic, I was training for the marathon. Whoa. Yeah. They let women run the marathon. You know that, right? I was training for the marathon. I was so fucking pissed when they canceled that shit. Ugh, the worst. And then obviously, they brought it back the next year, but I was like so busy. Clam bakes, trips to the Cape. And then the year after that, I was planning on running it, but I figured, monkeypox would cancel it. I was really rooting for monkeypox, I'm not gonna lie. Lean in, everyone, lean in. Lean the fuck in. Like, I'm the one doing all the work up here. Move in. Monkeypox? Yikes. Oh my God, I can't imagine a worse disease. Like, you get big, juicy white pimples. And like, you're not allowed to pop them. I honestly think I would prefer cancer. Claudia, that's not funny. But it is, And I'm just genuinely, can I say, thrilled to be in New York performing. I've missed you guys so much. Mostly because I went to a lot of the other states, and shockingly, they were extremely anti-Semitic. I'm kidding. Everyone was really nice and welcoming. But there's nothing like being back in New York. Yeah. And I've been working for like a year on this tour, and actually, I was supposed to be done about 6 months ago, and then after my last show, my agent called me up. He's like, yo, Claude. He doesn't even talk like that. Let's roll with it. He's like, yo, Claude. I'm like, what do you want, you curly-headed fuck? Not me being anti-Semitic. He was like, we gotta get you back out there, more shows. Let's do a big one in LA. We'll invite a bunch of buyers and like talent scouts. Like, let's do it. And I was like, no. Mostly because I don't really like to work, But also because I'm like John Mayer, I don't think I want to go to LA anymore. Yeah. I'm like John Mayer, but I don't pee on the women I have sex with, You didn't hear it from me. Kobe. That's how you do it, right? Yeah, like a fun fact about me is like, I do not fuck with LA. Like, I do not like it over there. Mostly because of the people. They're horrendous. I'm like so self-righteous in the way they talk so slow. It's like, what do you want? Spit it out. It's infuriating. They're like, hi. Hi, I'm Rain. I have my own kiln, and my dress is made of wheat. I just like literally hate LA, the people, but also because LA is not what I like to personally categorize as a fat-friendly travel destination. If you know, you know. If you don't know, thin privilege. Yeah, that's right. And I've actually thought for so long that it would be lit if I started a travel blog called fatfriendlydestinations.com. Like, I think that would be like really fucking helpful, no? Nobody's marketing towards the horizontally challenged. Like, lean in. I'm gonna expose myself. Like, I'm the biggest loser. Okay. I actually thought of this idea like 5 years ago that if there was a travel blog towards like, you know, targeted towards fat people, it would be really successful. And ever since I thought of the idea, I like live in fear that someone is gonna think of it and like take on my idea and I'm not gonna make any of the money. So I actually own the domain name fatfriendlydestinations.com, yeah. 99 cents on GoDaddy. It's the American dream! I'm not done. Lean in. Currently, if you were to like whip out your phone and go to fatfriendlydestinations.com, you would be redirected to claudiaoshry.com. And that's on being tech savvy. I think I would change a lot of lives if I was like the editor-in-chief of FFD. That's what we're calling it. Because, you know, like, I think I would actually win Nobel Peace Prizes for the literature I would write. Like, not me being delusional, but I actually think that I would. And I know the first piece that would really, like, put my name out there as a writer. Like, I would write, like, a listicle. Listicles are so dumb. Everyone on BuzzFeed is like, here's what type of eggs you like based on your horoscope. It's so fucking stupid, but I would write one. But I would do, like, a roundup. Here are, like, my 35 favorite hotels in the world that have towels slightly larger than a handkerchief. Yeah, what the fuck is that? I get to the hotel, I see the towel. I'm like, oh, they gave me a special towel just for my areola? That is so thoughtful. It's so annoying. Everywhere I go. I was just in Europe. Yeah. Goes to Europe once. But I was in Europe. And it was a really treacherous travel day for me. It was like a 9-hour flight. And I travel with like a Jewish body. We don't travel well. I'm like sweating like an animal by the time we land, and I had gotten a spray tan before the flight. Yeah. So I had like, you know, those brown crustaceans betwixt my breasts. It was fun. By the time I got to Italy, I was like, you know what? I think I need to take a shower. So I get to the hotel. Gorgeous facility, really stunning architecture. Get to my room, I take this freezing cold shower, and I'm just feeling grateful for Italian water. I'm like, this is Gordo, Miranda, Lizzie, like I'm loving it. Thank you, Paolo, for this beautiful shower. And I get out of the shower, I wrap the towel around my body, and then my whole pussy's hanging out. And I was shocked to see my pussy there. I actually didn't even see my pussy because like my tits are so big. So I like went into the mirror and I was like, oh my God, pussy! What are you doing here? It was actually like a really traumatizing moment for me. Like, I remember like looking in the mirror and like my body just like looked defeated, you know? I have like dark under eye circles, like a pussy. And I remember really thinking to myself, like, this is one of the lowest points of my life. Can I please go back to America now? Fuck you, Gordo. And I just don't know what that is. Everywhere I go, tiny little towels. Tiny little towels. It's bullshit. You know what it is? It's fucking fatphobic. Yeah. What do we want? No. When the fuck do we want them? No. And you know, we live in a day and age where like if you want to be a successful platform, you have to be like cause driven. You know, you have to have like a philanthropic element, which is like so fucking annoying, but like I can't get into that. And so I want to be successful at FFD, and I have such a good cause. You know, by the way, you know who I blame for that whole thing? Tom. Tom's. Yeah. He started that whole philanthropic bullshit. He was like allegedly giving shoes to the kids in Africa. Yeah, sure. All I'm saying is I never saw a picture of a kid in Africa wearing a loafer, okay? It's giving fraud. It's giving fraud. They should call the company Tom's Girardi. Kobe. So I want to be a cause-driven platform at FFD, and I have such a good fucking cause. Like, if you're staying at a hotel and you're not going to use the gym, lower rate. No, because, like, they're baking that shit into the cost of your room. Those hotels have really fancy facilities. And of course, nothing in life is guaranteed, but I can pretty much guarantee you I'm never going to use the gym at a hotel. I could have just ended that sentence after gym. Like... No, like, there's nothing in that gym for me. Is there a Krispy Kreme drive-thru in there? So I should be paying less. I'm never gonna go in there. And why am I shouldering the cost for some hooker to use the elliptical? And that's our message at FFD. And what I was trying to say, the reason why I don't think I wanna go to LA anymore. You know what it is? Maybe it's just like a me thing because I'm mentally ill. But LA is very exciting. It's Hollywood. You step off the plane, you see like a celebrity, you see the Hollywood sign, people with anorexia, and it's very exciting. And I always think, I get there, I'm like, oh, I'm getting discovered. I'm just gonna be standing in line at McDonald's and someone is gonna be like, you're discovered. Next thing I know, I'm like having anal with Vince Vaughn. But when I tell you, that's literally never happened to me. So it's like every trip is a disappointment for normal people. Like we always think it's like, oh my God, is this how my dream starts? No, the craziest thing that happens to regular people in LA is like we try vegan food for the first time, And we end up with diarrhea. Or did we get diarrhea from having too much anal with Vince Vaughn? Makes you think. I will say, though, I had like a very celebrity-like experience the last time I went to LA when I got to eat at Nobu Malibu. Which, like, if you're here, you obviously know what that is. Sir, yeah, it's a restaurant. Oh, sir, it's that place that Scott Disick is always bringing prepubescent teenagers to. He gets it now, he remembers. Let me tell you, because it's really hard to get in there, and I've been inside, and here's what they're not gonna tell you. It is the perfect place to eat if you've recently railed 4 lines of cocaine. Yeah, nobody told me. The portions? They bring out your entree, and I'm like, oh, yeah, let me just grab my monocle, 1 second. Oh, no, that's exactly what I wanted, thank you. And then they're like, that'll be $11,000. The menu is designed for the people who can actually afford to eat there. Celebrities who are doing blow in the bathroom. So I didn't know, but I was still excited. And the night was memorable, but not for a particularly good reason. I was actually assaulted there. I know. Verbally, but it counts. I was verbally assaulted at Nobu Malibu by a server. You believe that shit? Here's my side of the story. This gentleman comes over to tell us the specials. Now, I love to eat out. Well, at restaurants, not pussy, sorry. It's a very pussy-heavy show. I'm like an ally, but I'm not like that big of an ally, so. I was trying to say, I love to go out to eat. I do. It's one of my favorite activities. But when they come over to tell you the specials, it's like my least favorite part. Because I never have the heart to tell a server, like, not only do I keep kosher, I have the palate of a 6-year-old who grew up in a trailer park. I'd never heard of a special I was even remotely interested in smelling. But I don't want to be a cunt, and I never use that word. I know, like, as a server, it's a huge part of your responsibilities to memorize that and present it with grace. So I just usually sit back and zone out. I think about, like, what I'm going to pick up on the way home from McDonald's, However, lean in. On this particularly chilly night at Nobu Malibu, my ears perk up. Because this waiter, somebody right? he's getting like really into the specials. Really passionate, zealous, borderline erect, I swear. And I think to myself, this actually sounds interesting. Maybe I should listen. Maybe there's something there for me. So I start listening, and this man is going on and on and on about one dish, the tuna toro. It's very special, he explains. Tuna toro's really rare. It's really fatty. You want to know why? Oh, because it comes from the belly. That was loud. No, I could literally start like a one-woman band. Tumble out of bed and I stumble to the kitchen, pour myself a cup of ambition, but yawning, stretching, trying to come to life. I don't know the rest of the words. 9 to 5. Guys, when I tell you that this waiter does not stop, like 15 minutes, a fucking TED Talk. I thought he was gonna whip out like a wireless mic and a remote, Tuna toro. And he kept saying the same thing. It's a very special piece of fish and it's very fatty. That's what makes it expensive. It's fatty. It's fatty. See where I'm going? About 7 minutes. About 7 minutes into his TED Talk, I decide to break his insane fucking direct eye contact just for a second. And I look around the table. And I realize I'm with a bunch of anorexics. And in that moment, I realized that the waiter was only looking at me. The fattest person at the table. Let's be real. The fattest person in the restaurant, okay? I tried to be polite, but eventually I slammed my hands on the table. I'm like, sir, I get it. The fish is fatty. So am I. My God, I'll take 4. Don't forget the spicy mayo. And it was a traumatizing evening for me, but the pandemic happened right after that, and I realized I took those moments for granted. Because, I'm sitting in my apartment thinking of ways to slit my husband's throat without anyone knowing. Love you, but it's the truth. And I'm realizing I would literally give up my left titty to be sitting at a restaurant being called fat by a waiter. I feel sad. Because the pandemic started, I was 25, and now I'm 75. And I feel as though I was robbed. Anyone else feel that way? And it feels like it happened so fast, I woke up one day, everyone's working from home, they all have 16 kids. Everyone I know, right? Every person I know has 75 children now. And I do want to make fun of them, but I actually thought that was a really good call, using the pandemic to have kids, because collectively as a society, what we got off work for 18 months, you want to rear some children? Love that for you, for real. Personally, I'm gonna rear these drugs into my ass, but to each their own. I really did think it was a good way to spend the pandemic. I thought about it, I'm a woman of a certain age, 69. And I've been married for a decent amount of time. We get those looks now. We walk into a family function and everyone's like, oh. Ooh. I'm like, oh, no, it's just a fupa. We're very excited, though. I can't do a Q&A on Instagram without someone being like, well, when are you and Ben having babies? I just want to say, when are you fucking off? Leave me alone. We thought about it during the pandemic. Ultimately, I came to the conclusion that I'd rather die. Okay, that's dramatic. No, it's entirely accurate. I'd rather be dead. And it's not because I think I'd be a bad mom. I mean, I know I would be fucking terrible if... It's giving Casey Anthony. Oh. She's innocent! No, I'm kidding. I don't know if this needs to be said, but I do not stand by mothers who murder their child. I might be for cancel culture, but I aim for that. I'm not okay. I realize is the reason I can't have children yet is because I'm literally too lazy. I can barely get out of bed to get myself a soda. That's literally why I got married. Kids are like 24/7 nonstop fucking torturers. Like, serious question for the mothers in the room. If you're a mom, when do you scroll TikTok? Yeah, because if I was a mom right now, I'm pretty certain I wouldn't know the Renegade. And I do know the Renegade. Okay. Yeah, everyone in this room, everyone watching at home, follow me on TikTok! I want that D'Amelio money, okay? I heard a rumor about parenthood. I heard that when you're a parent, you get out of bed in the morning. And you don't get back in until night? That's fucking psychotic. I'm calling the police. And the thing about children is they're always saying like the dumbest shit. And everyone's like, oh my God, that's so cute. Mommy! Mommy, I'm hungry! Are you talking to me? Like, oh, you're hungry. Okay, me too, bitch. Make yourself a fucking snack and grow up! That would be my, like, style of parenting. You need to grow up. And the kid would be like, Mother, I literally cannot do that. And I would say, can't or won't. It's like the most annoying fucking thing our parents used to say, like, shut up. And I have this like personal dilemma that I struggle with because I really don't want to have just one kid. Yeah. Because only children are the worst. They're divas and they have this really unhealthy obsession with their mothers. And think about it, in this scenario, I'm the mom and I'm fabulous. The kid is gonna be fucking obsessed with you. I'm not gonna be able to get the fuck away, bitch! Get a life, loser. Oh my God, I'm literally so funny. Oh my God. So I'm just not interested in having one child. And I feel like everyone in the room is thinking of an only child they know right now and being like, oh my God, that head case. I just don't want it, you know? Like, you guys remember, what's that actress's name? Lea Michele? Lean in. Only child. I don't know, I grew up in a house with like a lot of people. I want to have dead ass, ideally, 50 kids. And I know what you're gonna say, Claudia, you just said you're lazy, so just have one kid and then you could be done and, you know, you're good. But I feel like having one child is extremely difficult and having 50 is like a walk in the park. You know? Because think about it. Let's say, seriously, I gave birth to 50 kids. Biblical shit, okay? I swear to God, the house would be such chaos, nobody would know if I packed my shit up and bounced one day, like, grabbed all the snacks, put the numbers on the fridge, tell your dad, deuces, I'm out. It's been real. Real fucking torture. I don't know, I grew up in a house with a lot of kids. I feel like you learn important qualities when you're in a house with a lot of kids, you know, what's the one? Sportsmanship. It's a good one. I just think it'd be fun and lit. Although, I did read somewhere, and of course, read somewhere means saw it in a TikTok. It said Osama bin Laden had 50 siblings, so that changes things. I just don't understand how, as a woman, these are my options, for real. Like, I'm either gonna raise a Lea Michele or an Osama bin Laden. honestly, like, it's tough. I don't know which is worse. That was fucked up. I apologize to Osama and the whole Bin Laden family. Not a cool comparison. Oh, and I know nobody wants to hear this, but it's the truth. I'm certainly not having kids while all the pandemic stuff is still going on, because nobody wants to hear this, but these kids, woof. In no way, shape, or form are they gonna grow up to be even remotely cool. I'm sorry. You guys, they did school from home for an entire year. Do you know what we used to call kids who did school from home in my day? Losers. Homeschooled jungle freaks. Oh no, and then they go back to school, and while everyone's wearing a mask, it's like the fucking Squid Games, you know? Like, these kids are not okay. And it makes me feel really sad, because I feel like, you know, how we all grow up into civilized adults who participate in society is like learning to read people's faces. You know, at a very young age, we would walk into school and see, oh, teacher's smiling. We would know teacher is happy. And the masks, they kind of get in the way of that, because, you know, we used to walk into class and see teacher frowning, and we would say, oh no, teacher is sad? I would walk into class and see teacher with her eyebrows crossed, and I would say, oh no, teacher needs Botox. Slob. It's not VIP. It's Paul. I feel like the kids are missing out on a lot, especially because here in New York, I've really thought about how kids are probably never gonna have a snow day again thanks to remote learning. And I think that's not fair. Some of my most fond memories are like playing in the yard with my sisters, making snowmen and shit. No, not our kids. No, our kids are gonna be inside on Zoom calls, wearing a Bluetooth earpiece like they work at a call center. It ain't right. I don't know, I just feel really bad for the kids, even though, you know, my experience at school, I think it's worth mentioning, I fucking hated every minute. 0 out of 10, would not recommend the experience to a friend, absolutely not. But it's important, you know, I respect education, and that's why I got my degree at educationconnection.com. And it's actually kind of a crazy story, because I was working for an hourly wage. I went to high school, didn't do great. Still, I gotta make more cash. More education is what I'm looking at. When I get a degree, I will make a bigger salary. So now I've got to see which college is right for me. I went on the internet and found Education Connection. I took some pre-tests to find out my direction. I'm taking my classes, getting my degree. Education Connection, match me with the right college for free. Everybody get connected for free. Get connected for free with Education Connection. That was gorgeous. Give it up for yourself. Stunning. Lean in. Let me tell you how thrilled I am to be performing in New York again. Because it literally never occurred to me that, like, not everybody knew that jingle. So I did that little skit in Toronto. And it literally never crossed my mind that this wasn't like an international commercial. And I'm up here like, I'm working for an hourly wage. And these Canadian girlies are staring at me, dead silent, like mouth agape, poutine dripping down. And it hit me in that moment that they didn't know the song. I'm like, you guys don't know Education Connection? Get some culture. Poutine ain't gonna cut it, you know? I'm gonna say something, but unfortunately we live in like annoying times where I feel as though it requires some sort of disclaimer, okay? What I'm about to say next is my opinion, based solely on my experience. Yeah, it's not a general statement on this particular group of people. I'm sure that there are members of this group of people in this house tonight. But again, this is my experience. For me, the worst part of my schooling experience were the teachers. Now, that's not to say that all teachers are dumb. Just mine. This is not a group of people you want to fuck with on the internet. I speak from experience. And you know what? I stand by what I said. My teachers, like, sometimes I'll be taking it like a dump. No, I would never, ever take a dump. I'm a girl. Sometimes I'll be making like a little tinkle, you know? My pee comes out pink. Anyone else? It's gorgeous. You could drink it. I'm not okay. Sometimes I'll just sit back and think about the shit my teachers used to do and say, and I'm like blown away by how fucking dumb they are, you know? Anyone else ever experienced that? Like just mind blown that the people who were in charge of you as a child like graduated college? Twice! Like everyone remembers, my teachers used to always say this. Claudia, sit down. The bell doesn't excuse you. I do. No, that's literally what the bell does. It's the sole purpose of the bell. It's why the bell is in this fucking room. Oh my God, that shit used to make me so fucking mad. And I wasn't like a great student, obviously. I do this for a living. But I was that kid who was always having a snack in class. Sorry, I'm a growing girl going through puberty. Sue me, arrest me. And the way they'd fucking overreact and call you out, which just baseline as a chubby teenager is so embarrassing. And the way they'd overreact like I was committing some heinous crime in the back of the classroom, you know? Like I was fingering myself back there. And I would look at her and be like, chill. It's a baked lay, not a knife. And then in order to justify them not letting you eat in class, they had to always say, well, did you bring enough to share with the class? And I just remember thinking as a young teenager, like, why the fuck is that my problem? I'm supposed to feed this entire group? Am I running a soup kitchen? Leave me alone! Because that shit used to make me so mad. And I know for a fact that my teachers were teaching me the wrong shit. You know, because I was taught always from a very young age, there's no such thing as a dumb question. Oh, so you've never watched a movie with my husband? No, Ben, I'm watching the same movie as you. I have the same fucking information. And you know, if you stop pausing it and just watch, we'll find out what happens. Isn't the cinema amazing? Oh, there's no such thing as a dumb question? That's so interesting. So what do you call it when a waiter comes over and asks if I want the bread basket? Because you know what I would call that? A dumb fucking question. What would you call it when an Uber driver says, ma'am, there's a lot of traffic. You want to get out here and walk? I would call that a dumb fucking question. But by far, in my opinion, the most egregious, the most heinous crime our teachers ever committed. I know everyone in the room can relate to this experience. You know, it's that moment in class, you're just minding your own business, doodling, staring at the clock, willing it to move, thinking to yourself, okay, if I do 5 minutes 3 times, I'm out of here. And then just like a ton of bricks, it would hit you like, oh my God, I'm gonna shit my pants. So you do the appropriate thing, you know, ask for permission to move your bowels. Hi, Miss Goldberg. I went to a Jewish day school. Yeah, Miss Goldberg, can I go to the bathroom? It's an emergency. I don't know, Claudia. Can you? No. Listen, I respect the hustle. Not the time for a fucking grammar lesson. Seriously, I had an iced coffee for breakfast. Do you want me to take a dump in the middle of the room? Because it sounds like that's what you want me to do. Yes, I poop like this. Oh my God. And speaking of school, does anyone in this room do drugs? I don't. I would never. Drugs are bad. Say no to drugs, unless they're free. I would never, ever, ever do drugs. No. That's the end of the joke? No, I did recently have the opportunity. The opportunity recently presented itself for me to try mushrooms. Yeah. When I tell you it was one of the worst experiences of my life, like, nobody warns you about the taste. You know, a lot of people give you advice before you do it. They tell you, don't look in the mirror, get out of the city. They give you like dumb advice and none of it is helpful. But I thought someone would have warned me about the taste. And nobody did. So the second I digest them, I'm like, holy shit, nobody mentioned the taste. I got bad ones. I'm not gonna be okay. Nobody mentioned the taste. And I'm freaking out. My husband was the one who gave them to me. I'm like, bitch, what the fuck did you put in these mushrooms? And he's like, chill, it was a recipe I saw on the Food Network. It's a little garlic, a little olive oil. No, I'm kidding. I didn't actually eat a vegetable. I did drugs. Yeah, what are you gonna do? Gonna report me? Gonna call the cops? Do it. I wish you would. Take me away. Oh, the cops are here. Stabler, no. Oh, Stabler in the criminal justice system. Okay, can I ask you guys a question? Am I even remotely perpendicular when I do that? Like, because I'm working really hard, but I feel like, am I in a acute angle or obtuse, you know? Obtuse? What the fuck did you just call me? Out. No, I'm kidding. I am obtuse and obese. So yes, I did drugs. Hallucinogenics, yeah, I'm cool, yeah. Cool kids do drugs, everyone knows that. And let me tell you for real about the experience, because it was horrendous. But it was also life-changing, and I feel like that's how you know you did it perfectly. You never want to do it again, but you can't wait for the next time. Drug addicts over there. That must be the gays. Hey, girlies! And it was fun at first. You know, I spent probably the first hour with my head stuck in a freezer. On purpose, though. It was really amazing. The mushrooms started to hit, and we were all sitting in the kitchen, my absolute favorite room of the house. And somebody opened the freezer to get a snack. It wasn't me, by the way, which was like the most shocking part of the story. And the second they opened the freezer, like the mushrooms started to hit. And inside the freezer, I saw the most beautiful, the most gorgeous light bulb. I swear to God, me and this light bulb, we were connected in some way. I can only explain it. It was just like that scene in Twilight, where Jacob, very inappropriately, imprints on that little girl, Renesmee. The light bulb imprinted on me. I was speechless. I was just overjoyed. It was literally Michelangelo painted this light bulb. Every time one of the strobes from it would hit my eye, I was literally crippled. Like, I need Jesus. And I'm a Jew. And that part was really fun. And then the girl who was like administering the drug, she was the one who had done it before. She's a drug dealer. Like, we had to pay her, you know? She was kind of leading the group, and she was like, let's go outside. They say that mushrooms are really best enjoyed in the natural elements. David Attenborough was there. So we go outside. And it was a crazy coincidence. It was my first time ever doing any sort of like hallucinogenic, I think. And it happened to have been a strawberry moon that night, which was just like a crazy coincidence. And I don't know what a strawberry moon is either. The moon was pink. Or so we thought it was. was really beautiful. We all just sat on these like big oversized chairs and like started staring at the moon. And then I blinked and 7 hours had gone by. And I don't remember anyone saying anything over the course of the 7 hours. I just remember us all being like, huh, in the chair, staring at the moon. Like we couldn't take our eyes off of it. Maybe like every 3 hours someone would mention something and we'd be like, huh? No, I agree. No, you're like a sister to me. Back to the moon. And it went on like that, I swear to God, for maybe 6 or 7 hours until the drug dealer said, girlies, we should go back inside. It's getting late. And I said, yeah, we should go back inside. Narrator, they should not have gone back inside. So we all went up to our individual rooms to like change into more comfortable clothing. And I'm gonna tell you what I put on because it's important, not because like I'm obsessed with myself or anything. I put on sweatpants, podcast merch, you know, the best of the best. I put my hair in a bun, like on top of my head. I threw on a sweatshirt. You know those sweatshirts you pull over your head? And they got like a turtleneck and like a zipper that starts at your nipple? You know what I'm talking about? It's like a, what the fuck are those things called? No, not a quarter zip. It's like a sweater that has a quarter of a zip. You've been gaslit. And I guess I put on a quarter zip, whatever that is. And I went back downstairs, okay? And I go back into the room and something has shifted in the room because one of the girls there, she's lost her fucking mind. And I'm looking around, I'm like, what happened? She's cackling. And I'm very shook. Because one, I wasn't in the room, so nothing that funny could have been said. And two, she only started laughing when I walked in the room. So I'm like, what? She goes, oh my God. Veins. Big vein. Claudia, I did it. I finally figured out who you look like. More frightening words have never been spoken. Yeah, Claudia, I figured it out. You are literally Miss Trunchbull. Sir, Miss Trunchbull is a character from a film. She's the villain in the film Matilda. I don't know if you've seen it. It's an Oscar-snubbed film, in my opinion. It stars Danny DeVito, the little bitch Matilda, and it's really incredible. And Miss Trunchbull, she's the villain. And I really don't like to use this word, but she's a cunt. And she's... She's really not the type of person you want to be compared to physically. I don't want to be mean, but he doesn't know what she looks like and I have to describe her accurately. I don't want to be mean. Okay. She's a handsome woman. She's a former javelin thrower. We all have ideal body types, no? Mine, personally, has never been that of a former javelin thrower. Suffice to say, I'm hurt. And normally I'm very reactive, but I'm on drugs. So I'm feeling very introspective. I'm like, damn, shit, I feel like I've been shot. I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, that is the most hurtful thing anyone's ever said to me in my entire life. And I'm like, why is this bugging me so much? Because I pride myself on the fact that I can take a joke. But this was like, not a fucking joke. And before I responded, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, this is really bugging me because it feels like my friend went into my brain, gathered the files on everything I've ever been insecure about in my life. Miss Trunchbull used to have a mole on her face. I used to have two! Miss Trunchbull was a big woman. Have you been listening to the show? I'm clearly unwell. So it felt like my friend, she wrapped up all my insecurities and just handed them to me in this insult, okay? And I know she didn't mean it that way, you guys. She was fucked up on drugs. So in that moment, I definitely did not decide to write my entire comedy tour around it and drag this bitch through all 50 states. I didn't. But her name is Dana. She lives in the West Village. After the show, we ride! Now, some of my friends thought what I did was a little dramatic, but I did throw that bitch in the chokey. It couldn't be helped. And here's the thing. We live in a society... Oh my God, that's like the worst way to start a sentence. Nevertheless, she persisted. We do. We live in a society where everyone is so offended by everything. And it's just not the vibe, you know? Every video I see on the internet has like a trigger warning. I saw a video of a girl on TikTok making homemade soap. Had a trigger warning. Trigger warning, blades. How? Why? What? And I never mean to offend anyone. I'm sure I do, but it's really never my intention. I never set out with that goal. But personally, I just can't relate to the sentiment of being offended by things because as a human being, very little offends me. Unless you're gonna tell me who you think I look like. 10 out of 10, I'm upset. Like, I don't care. Everyone loves this stupid fucking celebrity doppelganger game. I hate that game. I hate that game. Because for me, people get so, like, they're not creative. It's uninspired, these choices. If you're brunette and chubby, we're sisters. If you're Jewish, oh my God, Beanie Feldstein, you guys are twins. I mean, I hear you guys whispering, like, she kind of does look like Beanie Feldstein. No, I don't. We're both just chubby and brunette. I have proof. Proof. Okay, ready? When I was in the 11th grade, I could not go anywhere. I couldn't walk 4 feet. I couldn't fart without being told that I looked like Snooki. Now you're all being like, she does kind of look like Snooki. I got a spray tan. When I tell you, it followed me everywhere. It was in the yearbook. Everyone was like, you look like Snooki. It was like my thing. That show had just premiered. Those kids were so famous. I was literally in Miami on spring break, and I was chased down the street by a group of women who thought that I was Snooki. 16-year-old me, they're like, Snooki, we loved you on the Wendy show. And I was like, thanks, girl. Such a fun interview. Love Wendy. Thirsty back then, thirsty now. The point is, I was Snooki. It was my thing, everyone knew it. And then, one day, Snooki got very thin. Yeah. Wanna know what happened next? Nobody ever compared us ever again. We never looked alike. She's from Chile. I'm an Ashkenaz Jew. Question mark. So that was my first time doing drugs. And you know what? Becoming a drug addict is actually not the only bad habit I've picked up recently. Yeah, I feel like some of you guys might know this because I'm getting so bad at hiding it. But if you watch my Instagram stories with like an extremely detail-oriented eye, you might see a little black device in my hands. Now, before I say what it is, it's a choice. I'm not endorsing it. I don't want to hear anyone cheer, and I certainly don't want to hear anyone boo. Okay? Yes. I vape. Shut up. Shut the fuck up. What is the big deal? I mean, I know the big deal is cancer, but still, like, sue me. I enjoy an occasional puff of fruity deliciousness. By occasional puff, of course, I mean round the clock, 24/7, every minute of every day. Can't wait to finish the show so I can go smoke my vape. believe it's what the kids are calling an addiction. Yeah. And I love it. I can't lie. It's like a COVID thing that I'm now bringing into the post-COVID world. But it poses a problem because you can pretty much vape anywhere. It's like a thumb drive. It's electric. But you can't do it on the plane. And I know some people do, but I have like a personal policy. Like I will never vape on a plane again. Because I feel as though it's very confusing what the law is. And I was merely a victim of the confusing laws. Obviously, I can't light up a cigarette on a plane. But a vape, like I said, it's electric. And I don't know, I was on this flight. I travel a lot for work, so it's just like, it's not gonna work for me. And I'm on this flight, and it's so long, it's like 90 minutes, and... and I'm really struggling. I'm like jonesing for a hit. And I wasn't entirely sure like what the law is, you know? So I decided to Google it. I spent $29.95 on Wi-Fi, which that was my first mistake. And I ended up on this like stunning Reddit thread, words I thought I'd never say. Actually, it wasn't even a thread, it was like a subreddit, like a community of vapors. And I should have stopped there because that was probably one of the lowest points of my life. Nevertheless, she persisted. So I learned a lot. You know, I was just gathering information from this Reddit thread, and I learned a lot of important shit. Did you know the fine for getting busted for vaping or smoking on a plane is anywhere from $500 to $25,000? And I'm serious about money, so that shook me to my core. I had to take a step back and like take inventory of my life. I had to think to myself, is one puff of my jewel worth 25 grand? Yeah. Yeah, it is. Add another show at the Gramercy Theatre. But I hadn't made a decision, just gathering information. Know what else I learned? I feel like nobody knows this. This is a crazy fact. Ready? Ready? Yeah! God, fucking mute. Nah, I appreciate the respect. You guys have been a great audience. The second thing I learned, you know smoke alarms on planes, the ones in the bathroom? It's not gonna trigger and get, you know, the classic wah, 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 wah. No. You know those alarms are silent? Do you guys know that? So you could trigger it and not even know you triggered it. But the smoke alarm will send a notification to the cockpit. It'll literally snitch on you. I'm just gathering information. Haven't made a decision. The overall consensus from this Reddit thread was like, can you get busted for vaping on a plane? Yeah. Will you? Probably not. They did recommend how they found the best practice to do it was to go into the bathroom and blow your smoke into the toilet as you're flushing. You know those airplane flushes. And the second I heard that, decision made. The physics was making sense. I'm like, there's literally no way this can't work. So I decide I'm gonna do it. And the second I decide I'm gonna do it, I'm like nervous, you know? Because it's not nothing. It's a C-class felony, what I'm about to do. Nevertheless, she persisted. So I get up, my palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. Yeah. There was actually a little vomit on my sweater already. Mom's spaghetti, right? Basically what I'm saying is I was nervous, you know? And I get up to go to the bathroom, and you know when you're about to do something bad or unethical, like you act weird? Like I cheated on the SATs all 3 times. And I remember actively, as I was cheating, acting like a freak who wasn't cheating, you know? I was like sharpening my mechanical pencil as I looked over at Sophie Mintz's blue book. I still didn't even do a good job. So I get up and like I've totally forgotten how to walk and I don't know what to do with my arms. So I'm just kind of like moseying down the aisle and like waving to people. Hey girlfriend. Claudia, 3D, come say hi. I get to the bathroom. Of course there's a line. Because nothing in my life can be easy. And so I'm freaking, you know, I'm waiting in line. The anxiety is getting worse and I'm feeling like a real criminal, you know? Claudia Chrisley, okay? Oh my God. finally, it's my turn. I'm so anxious. I really need a hit to take the edge off. So I kind of hover over the toilet in a squat position, which really is not something I do frequently, so I'm already, uncomfortable. I take a really big hit. Like I said, I was jonesing. And right before I exhale, I just press the flush, so flush. Perfect, right? Wrong. So wrong. When I tell you, it literally never occurred to me just to test the flush. Silly me. I thought it was like every flush on every plane, on every fucking airline I'd ever been on. You know the one. If you go in there and you're not ready for it, it'll literally stop your heart. I've never been on a plane that didn't have the... So I don't hear the... And I look down. And I don't have the... No, I got this like... swirly, twirly gumdrop. I got like a careless whisper in the night. I got a flush that looks like it minored in dance. Pas de bourrée, kickball change, sachet. Yeah. And before I know it, this cloud of smoke is everywhere. And my first instinct is to do the classic move, the waft. Which, by the way, does nothing. And my second instinct is just to find a window and jump. Because I've had a good life. And I would never survive in prison. My ass is too juicy. And my breasts are too large. You know what kind of bras you get in prison? Not good ones. I'm freaking out. I'm like trying to come up with a plan. I don't even have time. I swear to God, 3 seconds have passed. I'm hovered over the shit-filled toilet, saliva dripping down my neck, and I hear this. Flight attendant. Female flight attendant, let's be real. Only a woman would do something as annoying as this. When she's about to arrest you. She's quite literally cornered me at this point. I have nowhere to go, nothing to do but to open the door. So I shoved my jewel between my titties. That way she had no proof. And if the glove don't fit, you must acquit. I am constantly inspired by O.J. Simpson and his work. Every day. So I just decided to be a grown-up. I'm like, let's fucking do this. So I open the door. I emerge in a cloud of smoke. I literally looked like Chris Angel in Vegas. And I'm like, hi, what's the problem here? She's very direct. She wastes no time. She goes, ma'am, were you smoking in the bathroom? And I thought that was a really interesting question. Because was I smoking in the bathroom? Absolutely. Is that any of this bitch's business? No. But I understand the severity of the situation I'm in, and I really look inward and I say, Claudia, we gotta get out of this. Let's play to our strengths. Bitch, what are you good at? I can't sing for her. And then I remembered that I'm married, and I know what I'm good at. And that's when I decide to gaslight this flight attendant. So she says, ma'am, were you smoking in the bathroom? And I said, smoking. Me smoking in the bathroom? Are you crazy? No, I wasn't smoking in the bathroom. My father actually died of lung cancer 10 years ago, so I would never. It was a heart attack, but... What's he gonna do? Come down and tell this flight attendant I'm lying, okay? I wish you fucking would. She's not deterred in the slightest. She goes, Ma'am, the pilot alerted us that the smoke alarm was triggered. I know. I was I know that was definitely a possibility, but I was so shocked. And I'm like, quick on my feet. I'm like, the smoke alarm was triggered? How bizarre is that? You know, it must be malfunctioning, and to be quite honest, I don't really feel safe being on a plane that doesn't have a working smoke alarm. So I'll just step out so you can get in there and fix it. You guys, she doesn't think I'm cute. She does not think I'm funny. Imagine. And I realized, I don't have much time left. I really need to amp up the gaslighting. So she goes, ma'am, I'm gonna ask you one last time, were you smoking in the bathroom? And I said, ma'am, were you smoking in the bathroom? Because that's what it fucking sounds like. And that's how your girl ended up writing a check for $4,100? Yeah. Plus $29.95 for Wi-Fi. To the FAA. Yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing. Federal Aviation Association. Fucking asshole association. Oh my God, chill. It's a vape, not a bomb. Be cool. Don't be out. Thank you guys so much for coming out tonight. I hope you enjoyed.